Welcome back to A Life of KG. On this episode, I am interviewing Carla Chatburn, who is the CEO and founder of Pure Perfection, a chain of beauty salons. I really wanted to get Carla on the show because she is such a leader within this industry. With running many teams across 3 salons, I really wanted to know what motivates her team, what are her top tips for building a team. So without further ado, here she is.
Are you looking to start a new career in permanent makeup or improve your skill set? Training at the Laura Kay London Academy will give you the skills and confidence you need to set up your own business. All courses are recognised and accredited, including advanced courses in nanoblading, microblading and micropigmentation. Training one-to-one or very small groups, Laura and her elite team will guide you and help develop your career, with the support continuing long after your course ends. Using the best tools and learning the latest techniques from a world-class permanent makeup artist. Call one of our expert team today to find out more.
So Carla, thank you for joining me today on the Life of KG. I hope you're well.
I'm great. I'm excited to be here and thank you for this amazing opportunity.
You are so welcome. So let's warm it up and let's do some quick fire questions for you, which you wasn't expecting today. So let's see what the answers are. So, coffee or wine?
Wine.
Beach or pool?
Beach.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Employed or self-employed teams?
Employed.
Bath or shower?
Bath.
Book or podcast?
Book.
Instagram or Facebook?
Instagram.
Oh, I love that.
I had to think quick then.
I know. I actually was listening to someone's podcast not so long ago and I saw that people were doing this stuff on their shows and I thought that is such a good idea. So
It's a good icebreaker as well.
Definitely, especially because it's always nerve-wracking coming on a show. So hopefully you feel nice and eased in now.
Yeah, nice and comfortable. I've got my coffee. No wine.
Save the wine for later.
Yeah.
So for those of that are listening and not sure who you are, can you explain who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so I'm Carla Chatburn, the owner and director of Pure Perfection Beauty Salons. I've been in the industry for 20 years and running my own salon locations for just over 17 years. Absolutely love the industry, got sheer passion for helping other people just feel amazing about themselves and how I can help them enhance their natural beauty and well-being. Won over 21 industry awards, which I'm extremely proud about. I support a dedicated team of professionals on how to help them level up in the beauty industry and be more self-aware of what happens behind the scenes in business, which is like a massive roller coaster. Yes, I'm a happy-go-lucky person and I've got 2 young boys and yes, I just love the industry and what we stand for as individuals as well. So I hope that helps.
Wow, I love that. How incredible. I could literally gather so many questions just from that mini bio you done. I'm like, I'm sure we could talk for hours. So what made you set up your first salon in the first place? What got you into this industry?
Well, I'm a very creative person. Like most hair and beauty therapists, I've come to gather that we're so passionate about the creative abilities that we have, and I'm not an academic at all. So I did really struggle at school, and that's something that I've learned along my own journey, that everyone has the weaknesses and strengths. So I was a really bad nail biter. I was quite a nervy person at school. And I just thought, gosh, how do I cover my hands up? Because I was really embarrassed about them. So naturally, I landed into the nail industry where I could cover up my bitten nails. I loved how it made me feel. And I literally went into an apprenticeship straight away. My first wage, I went and bought a nail kit. It was like the best thing ever. So I practiced on my mum, my dad, my sister, my friends, you name it, 24/7. And that is where my passion started. And it just grew from there, really. I was just in awe of this fabulous industry and the different levels and diversity and directions you can go into. So that is where I started.
Wow. So from apprentice to then having your own kit and practicing, how
Yeah.
then from then to the salon?
So that's a really great question, and I'm trying to explain it in a really, really easy way so the listeners can understand. Is I was just so passionate about growth and people, and what I did was I leveled up extremely quickly in all elements of beauty, right up to level 4, and I saw quickly that rather, how I could invest this business money into other people and how they could grow. So I employed from day one of 6 months from opening my first apprenticeship. So since then, every apprenticeship that has joined onto the Pure Perfection brand has grown with the company. And I do have one manager that's been with us for 16 years, and she's followed the journey right through with me, which has been incredible to see. So learning how business works and being able to invest in the different directions on what you can do with business money. And from then, I had the confidence from the people that I worked with, the trust and the reliability. So I invested in them, which went on to opening on the second 2 locations.
Wow. I mean, I know what it's like to open up multiple locations. It is a stress in itself and a big challenge. How did you find the growth? Because it sounds like you've done this whole growth process quite quickly.
Yeah, and I'm a very quick person, which is a fabulous strength in business, which I've found out, which is great. I actually invested in a business coach around 6 years ago. And even though I thought I had all my ducks in a row, I kind of had to reverse business backwards. Meeting a business coach and a life coach was truly inspiring and opened my eyes. So with the support from her, she has really, really helped me dig deep and find out what my own personal brand values are. And to be fair, I have done business backwards because I've had to undo policies and procedures and really, really work hard on where I wanted the businesses to go in the future. But that has been my light bulb moment, being able to work with somebody who has knowledge and expertise in the areas that I didn't learn at college or in business school. So yes, I should call it beauty business backwards, really, but it's been a fabulous journey.
Oh, definitely. Coaches and stuff always help. I think people are so worried to invest in themselves. I think, oh, well, I kind of know what I'm doing, or it will take me like however long to get where I need to get. But reaching out to someone that's been there and done it is definitely fast forwards your career, doesn't it?
It is, yeah. And I think it helps with the fear that we all hold inside as well. Because we really don't know what we don't know. And that saying has stuck with me for such a long time. You know, you life is a journey constantly, and I'm learning 24/7, and the directions that I'm taking are completely different. And just having that mentor there to help you really focus on the things that you don't know and you're unaware of, and just having that support mentor there is absolutely brilliant.
Definitely. What challenges have you come across then when it comes to expanding the salons?
So for me personally, the challenges were communication and finding out how we can retain such a high level of beauty professional in the industry. So for me, having clear boundaries, policies and procedures in place, that was the most difficult part, because as a team, in order for me to grow personally, I need my team to grow with me. Otherwise, the business gets diluted and we lose great members. So having that clear boundary and respect for all parties as well, respect in the industry, I think is really key, even down to the apprentices that start with us as well. So yeah, having a third party come in where you've got employer, employee, and having that third party in the middle help contribute to negotiations, to what everybody wants out of the company. So the communication is definitely been one of the biggest challenges.
Yeah, it is definitely hard and something to learn for sure. You recently won Beauty Employer of the Year. Well done. What a massive achievement. Just to add to your list of awards that you've won. Let's talk about leadership in teams. I know lots of salons that I work with, because I'm a salon coach as well as a salon owner, and I know a lot of the teams that I work with, salon owners that I work with, really struggle with teams, building teams, whether to go down employment, self-employment, that type of thing. How have you found running teams and even multiple teams?
So first of all, having a clear vision on the company structure was really important, and understanding where I actually fit into the company structure, because for me the best part of the job is working with my clients. That's why I went into the industry. But I also needed to step away from the salon floor in order to work on behind scenes, which a lot of people don't see in a beauty or hair industry in a business. So first of all, I needed to sit down and work out the structure and what job roles and responsibilities were for each person. So there was full clarity on who was doing what, who had to be accountable for certain things. So the overall company structure was the hardest part. Once we actually identified what the main structures were in the business, it was then quite easy to liaise with the managers every 4 to 6 weeks, just to make sure that everybody in the company was accountable, and were they doing the jobs properly? Is there any areas of weakness? And just to really have an honest conversation with each other. Once we had the meetings done, we had a note taker who was actually a business mentor. And then we all knew what tasks we had to be moving on with, and have a look at digital reports and things like that. So it's been a long process, but now we have a clear structure within the company, which just makes life so much easier.
Yeah, I guess with everyone knowing exactly what their day-to-day role is, it does help, doesn't it? Then there's no confusion, overlap, everyone knows what they've got to get on with.
Yeah, absolutely. And having it written in black and white, it's quite nice actually, because again, when the younger ones come on board, they don't know what they don't know. So it's up to us to make sure that we're accountable for our actions, and that we are educating these people on the cost of business, and it's not just the pretty picture that everyone sees at the end result. There's a lot of layers in there, and I think it's important that they are educated from day one.
Yeah, definitely. So how many salons is it you have, Carla?
So I've got 3 salons. I've got the Pure Perfection Accrington, that's been going for 17 years. Pure Perfection Clitheroe, that's been going for 10 years. And then Pure Perfection Barrowford, that's in its 6th year now.
Wow. And how many team members have you got then?
So we've got in total employed team members, we have 12, but then we also outsource quite a lot of the business specialists to other suppliers as and when we need them.
Wow. And are you still in the chair? Are you doing treatments, or are you completely out?
I came out of the chair and I actually didn't like it. I missed being around people. And for my own mental health, I really wanted to see what was going on the salon floor, and you know, how I can improve things as a business owner as well as a therapist. So I came out for 6 months, which gave me amazing business time for future developments. But I have gone back in, and I do 1.5 days on my favourite ladies that have supported me for 20 years. So I'm super grateful to those ladies, but I enjoy being around the ambience and the hustle and bustle of life. So yeah, I'm back there for 1.5 days, which I love.
Oh, but then are you back in like one of your favourite salons, or what salon are you at for that 1.5 days?
That's a really good question. I get asked that all the time. I've only ever really worked in the Accrington salon. That's where all my clients are. That's the one that feels most home to me. And the managers in the other locations, that's their babies. So I let them run it with the support of everything that they need from me. And as long as we have brand consistency, I do allow them to put their own slant and personal touches on there, because it's all about them as well.
Definitely. Do you visit them much, or do you literally let them run on and get on with it?
Well, I used to be a micromanager. That is something that I've learned the hard way. I actually leave it to them now. They have full autonomy. We meet every 6 weeks and we go through statistics, reports, problem solving. We make it fun, but we also have to make sure that we're hitting targets and goals, and you know, how we can recruit and things like that. So every 6 weeks we meet, and I do allow the girls to make the decisions, because we also have a financial growth structure as well. So, you know, down the path, everyone is going to benefit from everyone who's involved in the company, really.
Amazing. It's so interesting talking to other salon owners and those that have grown and expanded to see how they do things, because I'm sure you'll agree, when you open that first salon, it's very much your baby. Like you say, you go and work in that first one you started. So then you think, well, then how can I expand? Because I can't be a mother to all these babies. But you have to let go, don't you?
Yeah, and it's really funny you should say that, because I wrote loads of notes and I've not even used any of them now. I'm just winging this conversation right now. Yeah, I personally feel if you've got that real trust in someone and respect, then let them go and fly. And if something does go wrong, we'll deal with it together. That was my philosophy. And you know, the girls are absolutely amazing. And obviously sometimes it doesn't work out and people fly the nest and go and choose their own path. And I totally respect that. But having the, you know, the contracts in place and the security from business investments, that was probably the key thing for me. So everybody knew where they stood and what the consequences were.
Definitely, that's brilliant. So obviously you've gone from salon owner to now being a leader. You have many, like, for the 3 salons. Being a leader is completely different to being a therapist.
Yeah, there's no, I've read loads of books and it's still how do you lead?
Oh, definitely. You can't read, can you? Just think, and there's always, everyone thinks, oh, we're superwomen, we're leading these teams, we're doing this and that, but we still have our down days and struggle with it every now and then.
Yeah, absolutely. I do believe in always leading by example. And I think that's probably one of the key important parts of my role. If I'm not prepared to do it, don't expect someone else to do it. But obviously we do have to move up and level up in any parts of any career, not just the beauty industry. But I have had a lot of help off my business mentor, who also keeps me on the straight and narrow with, you know, the roller coaster of emotions and things like that. But having structure in any business, making decisions based on factual information, for me has been one of the best things I've ever learned, really, because I'm very much a people pleaser, and anyone in this industry, you know, we serve clients to the best of our ability. We want people to like us. But when it comes to making the harsh decisions, it's like panic, fear mode, I'm going to offend. But I have learned that if you do need to make them uncomfortable decisions, just keep it factual. Look at the facts, and the facts speak for themselves. So that was a massive learning thing for me.
And I think a lot of people listening to this will like to take that on board and think, actually, yeah, that's the way to handle things. Because like I said, we are all people pleasers in this industry. And then I think when we become therapists turn boss, we're like, oh, I don't want to hurt their feelings. They're not going to like this. Or I need to make this decision and it's really awkward. But like I say, if you look at them facts, it does make things a lot more easier, and actually for others to be able to understand as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I even had classes on how to be assertive, because that is not taught in college or schools or university. And I just thought, how on earth are you meant to be assertive? Do you have to be, like a power person and someone of authority? And actually, it's not. It's just about compromise and making sure that both parties get what they want out of the situation, so everybody's happy. So yeah, learning to be assertive was definitely a roller coaster emotional part for me.
Definitely. So I recently read your article about getting the best from your salon team. I would love to hear your top tips on how to get the best out of your teams. Would you mind going through that?
No, not at all. Now I have to get my PowerPoint out now.
Right, everyone, teaching session to the
yes. No, I'm just going to go with it. So first of all, getting the best out of your team is you've got to find out what drives them. And I used to be really embarrassed about asking this question, but I do get driven by financial reward. Coming from a really humble background, I want the nice things in life, and I'm prepared to work extremely hard for them. So there's 3 or 4 main categories that I like to find out about the team. Is it recognition and reward? Is it career growth? Is it financial? Or is it time? And once you identify what drives that individual, it's really, really easy to be able to assess which direction you can push them. Because I have tried to push therapists in such a strong direction of career growth, and actually didn't want it. So for me as an employer and leader, it was really important to find out what their main drivers were. So that was definitely key point number 1. Key point number 2 is clear boundaries. Learned the hard way on that one. Having clear boundaries. Of course, I want to be friends with my entire team. I love them all personally and individually, but I have to be bad cop. If targets aren't being met, clients are disappointed, then it's important that I go in with clear boundaries with the team, and things really need to be resolved, and look back at the policy and procedure we have in place, and this is the reason why we do this. So yeah, getting the best out of the team is being completely translucent with them, and sharing business information with them, so they understand that there's a lot of costs behind what actually goes in the till, because that's all they see. I was very naive to that also, so please learn from my mistakes. Yeah, so the cost of business is going up. So again, communicate that with your team and let them know that, this is how much profit we make in such a service, and, timekeeping is really important, and we all have to make sure we're working at the same level. I do always like to put my team first before the client. Now, a couple of years ago, it was always the client was first. And they are, to me, in my columns, when I'm a beauty, when I'm acting on the salon floor, they're my number 1 priority. But as I've leveled up in the industry of business, it is super important that you put your team first. Because if we don't put them first, then they're not going to be able to offer the level of service to their customers. So, have the uncomfortable conversations and, reach out to them and communicate. Is everything okay? Do you need anything from me to support you? And yeah, try to accommodate their needs as well as your own. And then that way you have a really great, respectful working relationship. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else in there. Let's have a look. So another one as well, I've always asked the girls, where do they want to take the career? Do they want to grow with the brand? Do they want to diverse in a different direction? Or do they want to own their own salon? And again, I used to be really uncomfortable about asking that question because we invest so much money in these people. We kind of want them to grow with the company. And I know that's a really selfish thing to say. But it's not selfish when you are clear about the boundaries on how much money you're investing in this person. If there's a time frame in there, and if there's a time frame in there and they want to go and spread their wings somewhere else, then that's absolutely amazing because you've had your business investment back. So again, at the start of the relationship, be really clear on how much you're going to invest in these people and where you can take them within the company. And if they choose to leave, then that is amazing because you've supported that person along the journey. Just make sure, like any other business out there, that you protect the business investment. And that's something that's probably not clear in the beauty industry, and especially working in a small environment as well. So yes, I'm extremely clear with the drivers and boundaries from day one.
I think that's like such a huge thing to hear as well, because especially when you're employing these teams and you're investing so much into them, it's very easy to take it personal when they get up and leave. And because when there isn't them boundaries there, I learned the hard way hugely as well with my teams back in the day. They're like my best friends, we're like family, and you think all of that, it soon changes. But it's I had to definitely look at it in a different way of, if they go off and spread their wings, that is incredible. We've given them that opportunity to be able to do that and the knowledge and know-how how to do that. And, if they're leaving within short periods of times, if your contracts and stuff are up to scratch and they have to pay certain fees back, then you've got that. If not, and they're with you for years, like you said, to get that you've had that investment off them. So it's now time to now go and put that investment in someone else. So I think as long as you then take that personal relationship away from them, yes, I'm still extremely close with my team, but there's that boss relationship with them now. And that definitely does help, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And we are all emotional people. And I'm speaking for quite a lot of women that I work with, and having to make them decisions, we have to keep them factual. And that's something in business that I've learned, that have the facts on paper, make sure everybody knows where they stand and you have full clarity. And I've seen some of my girls move on and open salons, and I'm like a proud mother. I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. And it's nice to know that I've been able to contribute and inspire them in that way. But the girls that have stayed with the company, they have gone, oh, the things that they're doing now, we are so much stronger as a team. And, I have one manager now that does teaching, and we've launched the online training programs. And yeah, it's incredible. It really is. And you've just got to be really, really factual to which direction and where people take the career after you've worked with them, really.
Yeah, and I think it's a really good time with this podcast coming out, and it's going to be a new year soon, to really sit down with your teams and, like you said in the beginning, like see what works for them and works to their strengths. And you could do that with a new year, fresh start, do it in your one-to-one, find out what really eggs your team on individually and work with that.
Yeah, and it's one thing that I came up in our last managers meeting, because we did discuss the opportunities of self-employment. And for me personally, it's quite a grey area, because you've got all the tax complications, the back complications, is responsible for legalities if things go wrong. There's so many grey areas at the moment in self-employment, that we've all discussed that we're not going to offer them opportunities within our brand, because we have to make sure that everyone's working to a level that we can control, and make sure that all our clients are happy. And together, that is so much stronger than being a one-man band. And we all really appreciate that in the company. And having someone to go to if there's a problem, and the team culture and support is worth so much more.
Yeah, definitely. The whole self-employment is a huge great area, and I'm a massive advocate for it in the industry, like doing it right, and whatever way works for your business.
Yeah,
absolutely amazing. Just make sure that you're not crossing them boundaries, because otherwise you just don't want to end up in trouble down the line.
yeah.
But then if you're wanting to build a brand, have multiple salons like you have, you really need that strong salon culture that you can only really get from employment.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And that has been a really, really hard lesson, because I actually didn't understand my own values and beliefs at the beginning of my career. And being able to identify what you are as a brand and personality, and what you bring to the table, is really important. And it gives you that clear structure and direction, because you can very, very easily compare yourself to so many other brands out there, and what their USPs are. And I see some absolutely incredible businesses out there, but when I have to bring back my core values, I understand why we're very, very different. So understanding your own team culture and core values is so important.
Definitely. God, we could talk for absolutely ages about this. We've gone completely off track.
We'll be friends after this, Katie.
Definitely. What's next for business with you then?
So, good question. I had a couple of meltdowns during COVID, and I wanted to give up.
How many times did you want to nearly sell it?
I was like, that's it, I'm changing my career. And then I thought, oh gosh, what else would I do? So a bit of a reality check and gratitude moment, to be fair. So since COVID, I wanted to bridge the gap on how I could really support my apprentices and level up in everything that I've learned over the last 20 years. So I have built a confident beauty therapist program. So when we do get the newbies on board, they have everything under one umbrella, so they can study in their own time, and they can level up as fast as they want to if they choose to. So it can be pitched at any level from 1 all the way up to 4. So that is going to be probably one of my most passionate and inspiring journeys, which I want to share with anyone that comes on board. And just pass on the knowledge, give a little bit back, really.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. And what a great opportunity that you're offering to people to join this industry. It's just incredible.
I absolutely love it, but I'm biased, and and business is it's a challenging area. I've learned loads, but being able to pass on that knowledge back to other people so they don't make the mistakes I made, because I've made many and learned the hard way. I'm ready to give back now.
I love that. I'm sure there's so many people listening to this or watching this, if they're part of Coffee, Cake and Chat, and want to connect with you. So where can people connect?
So obviously I've got my personal profile, Carla Chatburn, but I do have all the business Instagram and Facebook accounts, and there's lots of links that they can go on there and explore the training academy. or if they even want to visit one of the salons, why not have a treat, have a bit of me time? But yeah, anyone can get in touch, email me, and I'll quite happily support in any way I can.
Perfect. I really appreciate you giving up your time this afternoon. Thank you very much. And that was such an incredible episode. So thank you.
Oh, thanks, Katie. I really enjoyed it. It was finally nice to meet you.
Flirties, as a renowned beauty supplier and fully accredited training provider, can help you with all your professional products for lashes, brows, tanning, waxing and nails. Follow us on social media at FlirtiesHQ or visit our website www.flirties.co.uk for news, updates and offers, and you can use the code KGPRO to get 10% discount off your next order with us.